Look at this. It's just me and Erika once again, or Erika and I. No, me, Erika and me and Erika.
Yes,
What would it be?
Eric and me, right?
You're the editor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Flying solo again. Yeah. Heather Atwood again, away on assignment, apparently.
yeah.
So we'll see. Or maybe just waking up today. We don't know.
You guys are like hot on the election coverage and everything. So you guys are, it's election season. So
One more
you
day,
guys are
folks.
really busy.
One more
Exactly.
day.
Okay, exactly.
How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in Manchester. Although it's relatively quiet right now, but we have a lot of stuff. The weather has been sort of shut everything down along with everybody else. Although Gloucester wasn't really that impacted, was it? I mean, we had more than half of the people lost. 60% of our households lost power for several days.
Well, you have some Magnolia. They're on
Yes.
Manchester, so they're in trouble. And then Northern Gloucester, like a big thing, Bayview, Annisquam, Lanesville, they've had power out for. It still hasn't been restored at
Yeah.
this point, folks. We're recording this on Thursday, by the way.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah,
I went up to Marcook, in Gloucester. I love those ladies. I
yeah,
love them. And we got a huge meal for like 15 people because everyone came to our house because we were one of the few people who had electricity. And then at the office here at the Cricket, there were like, it was like Camp Cricket. There were like 14 kids and people just using electricity, enjoying the warmth, and then having our internet.
oh,
So
really?
yeah.
Well, so we hear that the cricket has been recognized, Erika.
Yes, we won 4 National Newspaper Association awards. Now the awards go by category, and people ask me that all the time. I mean, and what happens is you get like we don't get judged against the Boston Globe,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So we get judged against other newspapers that are our size and often our frequency, like once a week, weeklies across the country. But it's like 36 states and hundreds of newspapers you go up against. And we got 4 awards, and a couple of them were really noteworthy. So the first one I'll tell you is, and I want to give a shout out because they just do such great work. Jim Benke, do you remember Jim Benke writes, and he's an environmental writer, and he writes this very popular series for us we've called it The Wildlife of Cape Ann. So he started off with coyotes, the coyotes of Cape Ann. He's done alewives. He's done, snowy owls. He's done ospreys. I mean, and striped bass, done several pieces on striped bass. And so he's very, very popular, and he won for something he did last year where he hooked up, because his writing is very scientific, right? It's very, really good and thorough and, accurate and lengthy. And he started pairing up with Chris McGinn, who's our feature writer, and she's more first person writing, more soulful. And the two of them partnered up, and the National Newspaper Association not only gave them an award, but for best environmental series for their article on crows and bees. And then there was one other, and I believe it was the snowy owl. I hope I got that right. But they really liked it so much, they elevated the pair to a higher category than our category. So it was with newspapers for 9,000 circulation and below, whether they were a weekly or not. So that was really big because that's more than twice our circulation. So
Cool.
That was a really big accolade for the two of them. So I want to give them a big shout out. Yeah. So yeah.
And I remember the imagery from his articles because we talk about this. We're with you every week, and it's pretty amazing photos as well. Great stories.
Well, the one that's like the most current, they won the award for, is the crows. And that's actually current right now. They wrote it last year about crows and about how crows are such social animals. They'll leave you little gifts if they have the gift of crows.
Yeah.
They'll collect shiny objects like magpies. And some of them, if you have a daily relationship with them, you'll find a surprise. Like we saw stories of people on their front porch have little threads of things that were left by crows. So they're very interesting, much more interesting than we know. And they're going to be working together on something right now that'll publish in the next several weeks, probably next month, on trees and about how surprising trees are and about how surprisingly trees are social. And that's just a tease. So there you go.
Stay tuned. All right. Anything else going on? I know in the unfolding weeks here, there's going to be more in the 40B.
There's activity going on in the 40B. We're going to have a writer who's going to come in and join us, and it'll be a third-party sort of writer who's going to start covering just the 40B for us SLV goes through the ZBA process, the Zoning Board of Appeals. It's a formalized process. They have a consultant from Boston who specializes in 40B because sort of processes. It's going to go through a 6-month hearing. It's 180 days. And they kicked it off. It's procedural at this point, but it's going to become very real soon. But they've kicked that off. Another big thing, though, is in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have town meetings for both Essex and Manchester. We'll have a nice big preview in the next week. And then the week after that is when we have it in Manchester and then Essex as well. So lots of good stuff.
You know, we should have dressed up for Halloween for this interview. I thought, it just hit me now. Next year, we have to make a note.
I'll do that, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Okay, thanks for checking in. We will see you next week.
I love it. Talk to you.